For many years, our society has been somewhat of a deathophobic society, and the topic of death and dying has been not the subject of cocktail conversation for sure.
It's true that many people in America are dying badly today. After 35 years of progress in hospice and palliative medicine, it's simply the sobering fact that many people are dying badly. Most of them don't even know that they're getting insufficient care during the last months, weeks, and days of life. We have in America a state-of-art, historically excellent disease diagnosis and treatment system. We call it our health care system, but it's not a health care system. It is a well-greased disease diagnosis and treatment system, and we tend to conflate treatment of disease with care. So many people in this town are getting state-of-the-art disease treatment for their cancer, their congestive heart failure, whatever, and then they are getting bad care during the last months, weeks, and days of life. But we don't know that because most people don't know what was possible and what they didn't get. Everybody should have a power of attorney for health care so that someone you know and inherently trust has the authority to speak for you if you're become unable to speak for yourselves. That's really important because it can save you and your family from having to deal with an ethics committee or, heaven forbid, a judge to get in the most intimate times of your life. Make sure that people you know and love know what you would want. Just some of the basic things of completing a life, not just ending a life. Give people your passwords, for heaven's sakes. Because otherwise they may need to go to court to get into your accounts and things, just simple things.
People can come and have frank, open dialogue about this without the pressure of the event upon them, so that we can talk about advance directives or living will, so that you can be empowered. You can talk about it much earlier than is necessary so that you can start to compartmentalize and get your things in order so that then you can really be fully expressed in your day-to-day moments, in your now, in your life, which is, I think we're kind of all up to the same thing, just from a different perspective.
Shut the rest of the world out. You don't need to worry about bills. You don't need to worry about anything else. I mean, this is an opportunity for any of us to really have those moments that make our lives really rich. So I was able to have those moments with him and to spend that time with him, and it was really wonderful. And I was also able to give my children the opportunity to do that as well. Each of them chose to do it differently. One was very much wanted to stay with his father. My youngest was really struggling and didn't want any part of it. But to be able to give them that opportunity to sit in that space with him, I think was very, very important. And so it was hard because the world's coming in and saying, you need to do this, 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 you need to do this. And really what I was very fortunate to be able to do was kind of shut everybody out and to be able to spend that time with him and with the people in our family who really needed to be part of that process.
Take charge. Get your consumer muscles on. Go to the best doctors. Get the best disease treatment. Use the net. Read carefully. But don't turn over responsibility for the care of yourself or someone you love entirely to the professionals. They're wonderful people. They all have good intentions, by the way, but we work within a disease treatment system. So retain some responsibility. Get a second opinion. Get a third opinion. Get a fourth opinion. I would say if it's a serious life-threatening, life-limiting illness, make sure one of those opinions are with a palliative care team. Palliative care is a new discipline in the United States. They focus, they're well-trained people. They focus specifically on your comfort, your quality of life, your well-being, and are advocates for you to help navigate this zany, complex health system we have in the United States.
My focus is more on a rest of life strategy, because things are going to change along the line unless, as in Laurel's situation, it happens suddenly. But there are things that you can do ahead of time. And what I encourage people to do is talk about it. Talk with your aging parents, talk with your kids, talk with your partners, your friends, about what they want for the rest of their life, including what they envision for the end of their life. Talk to your parents about Well, where do they want to live if they're no longer able to live alone? Is there money to pay for an assisted living facility, or do they expect to come to live with you? And if they're going to live with you, what's that going to look like? Are you going to quit your job? Are you taking care of your little kids at the same time? And how are you going to juggle everything? What kind of help can you get? It's so much easier to explore your options and decide on those things before there's a crisis. And I think that's an incredible gift that you give to your parents, to your children, and to yourselves, if you can work through those issues ahead of time and avoid the fights in the hospital corridor.
I learned long ago in this work that often it's of value to have at least said 4 things to the people you love or once loved before one of you leaves this life. Please forgive me. I forgive you. Because let's face it, there wasn't a perfect relationship in the history of our planet. Please forgive me. I forgive you. Thank you. And I love you. Then you're more prepared whenever that time comes to say goodbye. But dying well, if you hear it, it's not just well as an adverb to discussing the process of dying, but well as an adjective. Can a person die well? Part of what I want to convey is it's possible for many, many people to actually retain or achieve a new sense of well-being during this last part of life. I think that's something that the culture really needs to understand. We don't see it in the mainstream culture. You don't see it in many movies or TV shows. But I can tell you from being with people through the last days of their life many, many times, that well-being is possible even as we leave this life.
Loss is not just about dying. If you have aging parents, or as we are aging, our bodies change, our minds change, our needs change, our abilities change, and there can be a real sense of loss associated with that as well. If your parents have some form of dementia and they're starting to forget who you are and who your kids are, there's a real sense of loss that goes along with that.
And I don't regret a single moment. I don't regret a single moment. And I think that's really important because I was, I didn't want to be here 5 years later thinking, oh, shoot, I wish I had just, I should have told him about that. And I didn't say thank you for this. And that process still continues, but for those moments, the world can wait. Everybody else and everything else can wait. This is an opportunity to just sit and be with that person.
And how that has impacted me, and I imagine has impacted you, the beauty that's possible, the authenticity that's possible, the transparency that's possible of both the person who's departing and us as the witness or the watcher to that event. That life is happening in the breathing moments between the two of you, and nothing else is going on in the world, right? That's right. To be so present to yourself and to the other in that space, that timelessness that happens, and then for me, that beautiful stillness that happens around the moments of death, that I get to have the privilege of being a witness to that time and time and time again only enhances the quality of my life. And I think that's what's so beautiful about you all choosing to come to this particular panel, whether you're dealing with an imminent loss or somebody has recently died or you're just curious about the topic, which I think is beautiful, because life and death are this beautiful coin, and we're in it until we're not in it, and we're here to support each other in the process.
None of us are going to get out of here alive.
That's right.
Plan for it.
That's right.